so health and wellness had always been like a big question mark. I tried all these different fad diets. And in graduate school, I thought that I was pursuing something that I was interested in, and that was like prosthetic and 3D printing and control engineering. And looking back, it was interesting to me, but it was definitely, I was a little bit disconnected from what I actually wanted. And I instead was pursuing what my peers and other people thought was a good path for me. And I pursued it head on, but at the end of the day, I realized I actually wasn't happy and it actually wasn't what I wanted to do. And so along the way, I figured out about regenerative agriculture. I volunteered at local farms, and Dr. Mercola, it was just what was keeping me up. It was what excited me, what I spent all my free time on. I just got so obsessed with food production. Like regenerative agriculture, we can grow food in a way that supports the soil health, is better for humans, better for the livestock. And I just got obsessed. And so in graduate school, I was on my 5th year working on preparing for my final defense for my PhD. And I told my advisors, I am going to be a farmer. I'm not going to go into academia. I'm not going to be a professor like I said I was going to. And I'm actually going to do what makes me truthfully happy and provides me endless joy. And it was one of the scariest conversations that I've ever had, because when you're in grad school, your advisors, like, they fund you through research programs to get you through to your PhD. And like, they put so much time and energy into me. And here I am feeling like I'm going to be a failure, not going into academia, not continuing their legacy, and instead going to be a farmer, which is seen as like a lowly position these days, which I think is so sad. I think that farmers is like, it's one of the highest positions because we are in control of the health of the next generation. It's so backwards. And yeah, so when I finished my PhD, moved to a farm, started farming. Someone gave me advice of starting with layer birds because you immediately get something out of it. You get eggs, right? So you buy pullet chickens, you get eggs right away. But at the time, I was very aware of the work of Dr. Ray Peat and linoleic acid and PUFAs. And I was looking through all the chicken feed options and I was like, these are all garbage. Like, why would I want to give my chickens this? So from that point on, I've been experimenting with different feed options, different feed ingredients, and we've kind of really finalized on a really great recipe that we've had tested for fatty acid analysis. We've been able to reduce the linoleic acid PUFA concentration of our eggs significantly.
Well, not significantly, 75%. That's 4x.
Yeah. So 4 of our eggs contains less PUFA than a cage-free egg. So if you were to eat 4 cage-free eggs, you would have 4 to 5 times the amount of linoleic acid than 4 of our eggs. It's like a pretty big difference. Just essentially showcasing, and I hope that that's what my story and this path that we're paving, I hope it can just help encourage others. Like, it's very expensive, and that's the unfortunate thing, to pave your own path and not doing business as usual. It is a costly venture to get there. But if I can help bring others along the way with us, we can all reach an economies of scale where we can start to lower the costs down over time.
Yeah. I want to go into it a bit, but before I do, I just want to point out what you just shared. And many people are going to miss it, but I just want to emphasize what happened, because this is a perfect, in fact, I might even put it in the book. There's a good chance I might, because you gave a perfect story of how you move from being essentially, like almost everyone, just doing a job to earn money, to do what you think is going to make you happy. It's almost a prescription for failure. And you went down that path because you listened to not yourself. You listened to others. That's the common denominator. Usually others can be a spouse, parents, advisors, and they're encouraging you down a path that they think is useful, that may have been useful for them, but they're thinking for you. That doesn't work. That never works. You have to, it may wind up, but you have to listen to yourself. And you used a metric to identify happiness, or I think more accurately called joy, because joy is active where happiness is passive. And it's a fascination of mine, is joy. And because it's the metric you use to see if you're making a right choice. And the book I'm writing is called The Power of Choice. And the way that you know that you're making a choice that's correct is you look and see how joyful you are. And you just heard Ashely share a powerful illustration of this. Couldn't be more perfect, actually. And you might want to listen to it again just to see if you can pick up the pearls of what that process is like, because it could change your life. It really could. So it's nice to have low linoleic acid eggs, but that's not the wisdom she's sharing. She shared the process of how to achieve joy.
And I think something that's important to point out, if I was to continue down the path that I was headed down, I would probably be in a very comfortable financial state right now. I would have been able to pay myself. I instead chose a path. Dr. Mercola, I haven't paid myself in 4 years. I've never paid myself, but it doesn't matter. I am so happy every single day in what I do.
That's what matters.
I have put.
So Ashely's making enough money so you can't even pay herself.
No, we're any amount of profits that we are making is going back into the business, because I care about this so much. And at the end of the day, I've recognized that for me, my sense of joy is participating in food production. And if I have a role in that, and if I can change the health of our customers, that to me is extremely satisfying. That is where I light up. Dr. Mercola has talked about this before, like when you start to shake and get like vibrant about something and can't stop talking about it, like that's where I am. This is how I know this is what I'm meant to do. And of course, at some point in this journey, I'm going to have to pay myself. And I know that day will come, hopefully sooner rather than later. But
it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day,
it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. At the end of the day, joy doesn't come from financial reward all the time. Joy comes from doing something that you are very aligned with mentally, spiritually, and success will come when you pursue that. Like, good things will come when you make decisions for yourself.